The Trump administration is at the center of a controversy involving 3 planes, a federal judge's order, and a bold move that's raising serious questions about the rule of law. On Saturday night, U.S. District Judge James Boasberg issued a verbal order blocking President Trump from using the 227-year-old Alien Enemies Act to deport non-citizens. The judge explicitly stated, "Any plane containing these folks that is going to take off or is in the air needs to be returned to the United States." By 7:26 p.m., the written order was officially filed. But here's the twist. 2 planes had already taken off from Texas, bound for El Salvador, at 5:25 p.m. and 5:44 p.m. A third plane took off at 7:36 p.m., 10 minutes after the written order. Despite the judge's directive, all 3 planes continued to El Salvador, landing between 12:10 a.m. and 1:07 a.m. The big question: did the Trump administration defy the judge's order?
I can talk about the constitutional powers that the president has. He does have, obviously, foreign policy powers in his executive branch of government. And the president is drawn upon those powers when he says, to me, the reason why I am now following the Foreign Enemies Act is because we were invaded by this Tres de Aranguas gang. So it's an invasion. And if you have an invasion, then presumably you can trigger that act. Here's the rub, though. That act was a policy and an authority during war, not during peace. So the critics of the president have said, you are enacting and following a law that's triggered when the country is at war. We're not at war. This is peacetime talks.
Yes.
So when we're in a peaceful state, then we should follow the immigration laws. And even when there are illegals in this country, no one's disputing that these are potential illegals. No one's disputing that this gang is horrible. They are accused of rape, arson, murder, all of those very significant violent crimes. But if you look at what is permitted under the immigration laws, even individuals that are accused of that wrongful conduct and they're here illegally, there's a due process.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is if you follow immigration laws, you have to go and it takes time. Due process means a hearing, means evidence. And instead, if you follow the Foreign Enemies Act, there is no due process because you are at war. And the last time that the president followed that act, not this president, obviously, World War II. It was followed in the War of 1812. It was followed in the War of World War I, and it was last followed in World War II to address the Japanese that were in the country.
But here's the problem. The U.S. isn't at war. The judge noted this, stating the move violates the plain text of the law. This raises serious concerns about executive overreach and the administration's disregard for judicial authority. El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, added fuel to the fire by retweeting a news story about the judge's order with the caption, "Oopsie, too late." This blatant mockery of the U.S. judicial system has sparked outrage, especially since the deportees were taken to El Salvador's mega prison. At a press briefing, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
There's actually questions about whether a verbal order carries the same weight as a legal order, as a written order, and our lawyers are determined to ask and answer those questions in court.
That suggested the administration was only following the written order, questioning whether a verbal order carries the same legal weight. But legal experts disagree, emphasizing that both types of orders are equally binding. This isn't just about immigration, it's about the rule of law. If the administration can defy court orders without consequences, it sets a dangerous precedent. Imagine a future where any president can ignore judicial rulings, claiming broad executive powers. This undermines the very foundation of our democracy. The Trump administration has taken the extraordinary step of asking for Judge Boasberg to be removed from the case. Legal experts say yes. Meanwhile, questions remain about the passengers on the third flight. Were they alleged gang members, as the administration claims? Both verbal and written court orders carry the same weight, and the deportees were still in U.S. custody when the order was issued. Or is this another example of due process being ignored? The administration, however, claims the written order didn't explicitly demand the plane's return. What do you think? But here's the kicker. The judge's verbal order was crystal clear. All right, it's your turn to weigh in. Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act, a wartime law, to justify the deportations. Do you think the Trump administration deliberately defied the court order? Or was this a case of miscommunication? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're here to bring you the facts, insights, and analysis you won't find anywhere else. Let's grow this community together. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.